Hello, you beautiful sinners. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Psynergic, and today we are reacting to ATEEZ. Hi. This music video just came out, so I'm excited. I saw it on my Twitter. It popped up on Twitter, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. We're gonna go into this. I don't know anything about this music video. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you go down, hit that like button, and then hit that subscribe button. And that tells me that you guys are loving this content, and it tells me that you want some more. So I will do that. I'm happy to oblige that request. I'm happy to do more ATEEZ stuff if you guys want me to. You just gotta let me know. Without further dudes, let's go. Oh no! There, that's better. Oh, I need subtitles. Wait, it is on. Oh. Okay. Oh. 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 Oh, okay. Hello. Oh, that's... No! That's gonna hurt when you land. Don't fall, please. It was really good. I really like that. That was really good. Of course it was. It's ATEEZ. Interestingly enough, it was both, you know, flying turbulence and just turbulence in life. I see what you did there. Yeah, that was really good. I really like that. It was, it's hard because I'm trying to read the lyrics at the same time trying to, you know, react and show you guys like how I'm feeling about things. Blind reactions are just that. Like I have no idea what I'm coming into. I don't do any research or any thoughts into this. Like I don't do anything to prepare to watch watch these videos, which is kind of fun for me. Not only am I reacting, but I'm also trying to bring in the conversation and break down lyrics from my perspective as, you know, not a lyricist, but as you know, mental health professional. So this is interesting. Like, this was a good video. I think it's clear that they're talking about, you know, relationship woes. They're talking about life woes. They're talking about being lonely. They're talking about a lot of things here that I think we can have a discussion about. So let's do that. Let's get into it. Let's go through it. I think he is adorable right in this picture. I know that it's not meant to be that way. He's just sitting there, but he looks really good. Like, he's got like this jacket that has like Christmas sweatery feel to it. It's cute. I mean, he's cute too, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I love that part, right? I mean, because the title is Turbulence, he puts it in airplane mode, which has a couple of different meanings to me. Like, just, you know, coming in this the second time, to me that has a different meaning now, seeing it again. And the first thing that popped into my mind is once you're in airplane mode, it takes you offline, it takes you, like, you don't get updates. To me, like, here's the thing that we know about social media. Social media is fantastic at connecting us to the people all around the world, and it's a fabulous way to do so. Unfortunately, there are studies that also have shown time and again, social media has the unfortunate ability to also bring up feelings of inadequacy, of sadness, and there are correlational studies out there that show as use of social media rises, so too does the depressive symptoms of individuals, and that those who are depressed typically spend the most amount of time on social media, like Facebook. And so the idea of just shutting that off, putting it in airplane mode, is interesting, because if you're feeling sad, really that's one of the things that you should probably try to do, is limit your time online on social media. So it's interesting for me, because I don't know if that was the intended purpose, but it's like that subtle little thing for me that I'm just like, oh, it's a good idea. I mean, we don't even see anything about social media. We just see airplane mode, right? Here's the thing about being young. I guess this is where we're going. The cool thing about mammals, us, is that we come out at a time in development, in gestation. I can't say that word apparently, so you're getting that one. That's the version. We come out at a time where we're not fully developed, so much so that it takes us over 20 years to fully develop. It depends on a number of factors, how long it will take, individual and more general factors. So it's easier just to say around 20. When they're talking about being still too young, so interestingly enough, the prefrontal cortex, which is this little area up in here, that is the last thing to be fully developed. And so that actually happens at 20 years area. Whenever they're talking about being too young, being impatient, that also makes me think planning, executive functioning, which is all handled in this prefrontal cortex area. And that's why we often see like younger teens not being able to think ahead and plan ahead, because they might try to, they might do pretty good at it, but ultimately it's a little bit more difficult because of the developmental stage that they're in. And so being impatient when you're young is a normal thing. It's just that ability to think ahead, plan ahead. And so this makes sense. Distorted us. So that makes me think that, you know, the relationship is kind of ending, I guess, or relationship or lack of relationship, or that friendship, whatever the case is. I'm going to assume that it's a relationship, but that is an assumption. If you've ever been in like that end of a relationship, feeling that it's over, it feels like a free fall. It feels like just things are just going down. Like it's just like there's nothing to catch you. There's no net. It's just one thing after another, and you don't know where it's going to end or where it lands. It might end at the end of the relationship, but it might land, you know, there might be a roof or something in this case, right? If we're using that analogy, there might be a net further down. Who knows, right? And there might be a counselor there to help hold you or catch you. I don't know. This is not my analogy, guys. Leave me alone. To me, this is just spelling like a whole lot of uncertainty. Why did I say it like that? I really put a lot of emphasis on those T's. Uncertainty. This is not very hopeful. Let's be real, guys. This is like end of a relationship kind of stuff. You know, that's a great question. This is a question that you should ask yourself in this kind of a situation. One, are you happy? And what does that look like for you? Does this other person have your best interest at heart anymore? If you're not happy and you don't feel like this person is listening or taking your best interest into their heart, like, why are you there? Is it out of duty? Do you feel responsible? Or do you want to not admit that you're failing, that this is failing? I understand that. Trust me, I've been there. But what does that do for you? I think we're so used to being afraid of failure in especially relationships that sometimes we hold on to something that just clearly isn't working. And then it just leads you down this dark tunnel. You just end up in this endless darkness, right? You have to ask yourself these questions. And here's the thing, I've been saying this all the time. If you watch my BLs, if you watch some of my other videos, like I always say this, open and honest communication. If you're in a relationship and you're not having that open dialogue with that person, this is kind of the result that happens. Like you have to have that back and forth. You have to have respectful communication, respectful and open communication so that you understand where they're at, where you're at. And if you don't, it can lead to this like uncertainty. It can lead to this darkness just forming around you. And I'm not saying that, I'm saying that as a mental health professional, but I'm also saying that as somebody who has been there in a personal way. In what form? Like, should we be a couple? Should we not be a couple? These are all valid questions that you have to ask yourself, but not just yourself. This is conversation that you should have with your other, whatever they are. In all relationships, even non-romantic relationships, open and honest communication is important. In a world with only darkness, man, like that's sad. Like I just want to embrace you. I just want to hug you. I just want to hug them and just tell them it's going to be okay. As I said in the other video, it's okay that it fails. It's okay, that happens, right? It's okay. The important part is that it wasn't a bust, it wasn't a complete failure. It may have ended, but it's not a failure. You can still learn a whole lot from that ending of a relationship, and you can take what you've learned, like once you've appropriately like dealt with the emotions that come with it, then think about it. Think about what happened. Use that. Hindsight is 20/20, as the saying goes. So use that hindsight to evaluate like what could you have done, if anything, because sometimes it's just gonna happen. Like sometimes you're in different spaces. The thing about relationships is that you kind of come together for a moment and people grow, people change. That is part of being human. As the years progress, you get older, you get wiser, you're changing. You change, we change. Sometimes that change is just not, it just doesn't go together anymore. You might just want different things, and that's okay. It happens. It happens a lot. Like it happens more than we like to think. Embrace me in your warm arms. This is a shift, right? So now we're seeing like sunlight, they're taking off, they're flying. So what this tells me is that prior to this, they were kind of discussing it, right? They were talking, they were having open and honest communication maybe. And now they've worked through it and it's kind of taking off again. The important part in that though, I think, was the lyrics. Let's see if I can find it, because that was a lot. I hope to be myself. To me, that is probably the most important part in this little section here. Like, be together if that's what you both truly want, if that's gonna keep you happy, awesome. You gotta be yourself. Hold on to who you are and continuously find yourself so that you can be yourself while being in a relationship. How's that sound? Does that sound good? Get it. Get that high note. Do it. It's interesting. At the beginning of this music video, it felt very hopeless. And I think that was the theme for maybe the first, I don't know, more than a half. It just felt like there was a lot of hopelessness. And by the end of this, right at the end here, it felt like there was some hope. I mean, it sounded like to me, you know, translations are flawed, of course. All translations are, because you're never going to encapture what that means. To me, this ending felt very hopeful. Like they were able to talk about it, move on, and find a way to move forward together. And I hope that that's the case. Like ultimately, as somebody in my position or doing what I do, it's not my place to make a judgment whether you should be together or not. I want the best outcome for all parties concerned. If that's being together, awesome. If that's being separate, cool. What matters to me is putting in the effort to make sure that this is what's going to set you and your partner up for success long term. We therapists, people who study clinical psychology, counseling, clinical social working, ultimately our job is to put ourselves out of a job. My job is to give you the tools for you to work on this yourself and to set you up for long-term success, which is essentially talking myself out of a job, right? Like, and that's the point. I would love it if I worked with somebody for however long, let's say half a year or something, right? And they never have to see me again. That would be awesome. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you all being here and being a part of this community. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Do take care. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.